As the fielding 4 for 392.
Why are they giving him the easy single?
Yeah, exactly.
Surely you want Kohli to go on the up or play the big shot through the gap. There's the single available for whenever he wants it.
Maybe Steve Smith just wants him to get to that 100 and the game will move on.
Yeah, but Smith's got to control it.
3 back on the leg side. Murphy over the wicket to KS Virat, who wants to leave, ends up playing sharp spin to backward point, no run.
I was only kidding, Asha.
How about the effect of the fans streaming in? I mean, we're conditioned to seeing that when he walks out to bat, but now that he's so close, they just want to be near their hero. That fan to be so profound, isn't it, Harsha? We see it on social media all the time. Murphy bowls on the front foot, pushing to point, no run. You see VK fan in the headline of so many Twitter accounts, the background photo, the background pictures, and Dinkus and all the rest of it.
And his own Instagram account that goes to 240 million.
Just a lazy 240 million. Even more than you, Just.
Oh,
Just got Harsha covered.
I'm minuscule on Instagram.
Here we go. Murphy again to KS Virat. Ends the over. Kohli gets the strike back. The crowd all like that. He's 97. Virat 44. 4 for 392 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener.
Working with your hands, eating healthy, going to bed early. All rewarding. But not as rewarding as a Kogan Money credit card. With 0% per annum for 14 months on eligible purchases, plus $500 Kogan.com credit to spend on the most in-demand products when you meet the minimum spend criteria. Use it anytime, anywhere. The Kogan Money credit card, it's just more rewarding. Head to Kogan.com to find out more. Spend criteria applies. Offer ends March 19, 2023. T's and C's, fees and charges apply. Credit provider, National Australia Bank Limited.
SEN Test Cricket for Tyre Power, your trusted local. Kohli on 97. That's the only number on the Holman scoreboard that means anything to the crowd at the moment. Holman for the smart gardener. Got Harsha Bogle and Virat Sundaresan for company. As the Kohli chant goes up, as it did at the 1KD for Sachin for so many years.
Oh, yeah. Myself have been party to Sachin chant or two over the years, but just going back to numbers, Harsha Bogle speaking about his following on Instagram. His following is on Twitter because he paints pictures with words, you see.
Very polite way of saying that I can't do it in pictures.
Nathan Lyon in to his rival Kohli on 97. He turns him around to short fine, and Todd Murphy takes a ping at the stumps of the non-strikers. And for a moment, I think we all thought that might have snuck through.
Now I love how KS Bharat is getting involved in Kohli's 100. He was charging down for Kohli's single.
Could be a big moment for KS Virat as well to be there with the former captain.
I think he's played well himself. 2
catches on the leg side. A mid-wicket and a short leg. Kohli on 97. Line to him here, gets forward in defence to Hanscom at short leg. The rest of the field, a more conventional mid-wicket, short fine leg, deep square leg, long on, short third, cover, mid-off. So room through the offside if he dares.
What's the odds on a maiden over?
2 balls into it. India trailing by 88. Lyon to Kohli. He's 97, bowls here over the wicket. Kohli tucks into the onside for a single, an easy one at that. They walk it through. Cameron Green does the fielding in from the rope at deep square. 98 for him, 4 for 393 for India. Launching it all the way onto the blade. We're seeing it on the replay screen for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite, taking no risks whatsoever.
Yeah, it's been a very risk-free innings. That's what it's been. And we've seen... There was a period, wasn't there, Harsha, when he started playing risk-free cricket, Virat Kohli. That was his great run, where he just couldn't stop scoring runs.
It'll be number 75. Gets it.
Line round the wicket. KS Virat catches the call, caught it short leg. Straight up and down. Come on's the call from Nathan Lyon. A soft dismissal from KS Virat, who's bowing over his blade. He wanted to be out there for the Kohli ton. He won't be reviewing. A straightforward inside edge into the waiting hands of Hanscom. India lose their 5th wicket with a score on 393. KS Virat gone for 44.
Yeah, there's no point reviewing. I mean, it's amazing how quickly we start looking for the review. But all eyes on Kohli. Bharat's having to drag himself off the field because I'm sure he wanted to be a little part of it too. I think he's already played a little part in it.
Yeah, yes.
But just shows once again, this is the bat pad against a player who's set. That's why I still think Australia could have done a little bit more of the running.
In a way, it would have been great for Bharat to be out there for Virat Kohli's 100.
Instead, it's going to be Ravichandran Ashwin.
Oh, it's Akshar Patel.
Oh, my apologies. Akshar Patel.
I thought it would be Ashwin, but they've played musical chairs with that position.
No, they sure
Akshar
have.
and Ashwin throughout this series. Good innings from KS Bharat. We set the pressure on him, walking out to bat. Maybe his test career on the line, even though it's just his 4th game. He's done well, and he's also pushed the game forward. This is attack against Cam Green a few overs ago, and even before that, he's settled down well, and by far his best test innings.
And a word for Nathan Lyon. His 52nd over. He's bowled so well. 2 for 106 does not reflect that. Hope he gets a couple out of the last 5.
And that come on, I don't know whether it was from Nathan Lyon. Didn't sound like Nathan Lyon.
Could have been Pete Hanscom.
It could have been.
Phil Long over there, the back here for Fuso Trucks. Fuso Kansas are in stock right now. Job done.
55 test wickets in India for Nathan Lyon. That's the record by an overseas bowler.
Very good. Overtaking Derek Underwood. You had to sort of thrust your microphone there, right? Phil, I forgot he wasn't on mic at the moment. So it's going to be Akshar Patel. He's had quite the series with the bat. He was a nemesis for Australia. Thorn in the side at both Nagpur and at Delhi. And he was unbeaten in both innings last week at Indore as well. Couldn't get him back on strike when it mattered most. 15 not out and 12 not out. But yes, 74 at Delhi, 84 at Nagpur. All up for the series.
Would have
A batting average of 92.5.
Who would have thought coming to Ahmedabad he'd have 2 wickets in the series at a venue where he was picking up those many in an over.
Yes, taking him at 9 before this match. So Akshar on strike. His first ball from line, pushing out towards extra cover. No single. So there is 1 ball left from line here, I think.
Yes.
Yes, 1 ball left from line, and they're going to have another look at Virat Kohli.
A beautiful piece of bowling from Nathan Lyon.
So Lyon to complete the over, bowls here, driving out to cover, and the cheer is because end of the over, Kohli back on strike on the other side of the break. Up for 393, Kohli 98 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener.
Hello, this is Bharat Sundaresan. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
SEN Test Cricket for Tyre Power, your trusted local. Todd Murphy has the responsibility of bowling to Virat Kohli. Wearing his blue Indian helmet on 98. Men back at long on and deep mid-wicket. Just one catching man at catching mid-wicket. Big gap at cover. Kohli turns into the onside and doesn't beat the man at mid-wicket. Does get through for a single. It's parried away to Cameron Green at mid-on. And that single takes him to 99. And Akshar's on strike. 5 for 394. We're into the 138th over.
It's amazing how relaxed Virat Kohli has been. Just after that shot, Manas Labuschagne put in the dive and stopped the ball. You can see Virat Kohli immediately joking with Manas. Seems to be about why he couldn't have just let it go through.
It's amazing, this single, isn't it? You go from 12 to 13, from 29 to 30, from 71 to 72, and it doesn't matter, and suddenly you're on 99. And it's the same single.
And the way he got to 99 was with the shot. We don't have the wagon wheel, but I reckon he's made 60 of his runs off that shot. Gentle clip through to mid-wicket. So back to Akshar Patel. More catches in. Slip, short cover. Bowling with a 6-3 field. And back at long off. Akshar hit on the pad but sliding. That ball from Todd Murphy that kisses the shiny side and goes straight on with the arm.
Can he remain oblivious of the drama at the other end? Can Akshar Patel? Can he say, it doesn't matter. If it's needed, I'll play 4 dot balls. There's no rush here. Don't go searching for a single.
Murphy up, wider of the crease. Akshar defends. Down the pitch.
Crowd's counting down to the 3 balls.
Come on, Akshar, take a single. That's what they're saying.
Murphy's so impressive. 2 for 68 in his 34th over.
6 lines.
And a big part of his development this will be. Staying around the wicket, bowling here at Akshar Patel. Akshar gets forward, defends again to the man at close catching cover. No single. think you're spot on here, Harsha. He's going to try and play out the maiden as quickly as he can. No funny business.
He's not taking a single on the last ball, is he?
That would be great if he does.
Great theatre.
If it's on, it's on.
You've got to jump off the telly, I think, Harsha. Yeah. Mortified if you're not here for it. Maybe you can plug another over. Bowling here's Murphy, defending his Akshar into the onside. No, I suppose you'll want to call it on TV, not unreasonably. Harsha, you make way. Thank you for your contributions in the last half an hour. You'll be on TV for the 100. I look forward to watching that later. We'll compare our commentary. Louis going to jump into the summariser chair. Virat's going to stay put. Murphy bowls here, and Akshar inside edge nearly spits out to get a single instead. It'll put Kohli back on strike on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Kohli 99, Akshar yet to score. 5 for 394.
So my boy Adam, he come home with all these bags of shopping. I said, what are you, millionaire? He says it was good bargain. Good bargain? Kogan mobile prepaid plan is bargain. Unlimited talk, text, and 10 gigs of data for $15 a month. My boy wouldn't know bargain if it called him on phone and said, hello, I'm bargain. Talk about a bargain? Get one at koganmobile.com.au. T's and C's apply.
SEN Test Cricket for tyre power. Kumo ties at wicket, taking prices. Kohli on 99. Steve Smith taking his time. He's going to bowl to a 2-7 field. One man back, make that 2 men back. Long on and deep mid-wicket. One catcher at short mid-wicket. That's the acting captain. An enormous gap at cover and line. Ever the senior pro, taking his time, talking to Usman Khawaja. No rush here, trying to build any pressure they can on Virat Kohli, who's on 99, line into him here, delivers, and Kohli turns around the corner but straight to the man at backward square. So that's where Hanscom is as a man on the 45, mid-wicket conventional, mid-on, long-on, deep mid-wicket, catching mid-wicket, mid-off and point. They're going to squeeze in here, Louis.
Where have all these people come from?
I know, exactly, yeah.
This crowd has swelled enormously this morning, or this afternoon now.
Yeah, especially Sunday afternoon. They've all had their lunch. They've all had their thalis. They're here for the feast. This is what they're here for, the moment they've been waiting for.
All the noise for Kohli on 99. Line swing here, round the wicket, turning into the onside, and there it is. Not his most extravagant 100, nor his most elaborate. But you can never doubt this man's dedication. Careful accumulation, reaching 3 figures for the 28th time in Test cricket, the 8th time in Test cricket against Australia. He takes off his necklace and gives it a kiss. That might be his wedding ring. 1,206 days. Kohli, the chance to wave that bat around again. The crowd adore this man. The former captain takes his bow. What a relief.
It's a moment India has yearned for, prayed for, wished for, waited for, and so has Virat Kohli. It's been a while since they've seen him raise his bat in white clothing, and he's still raising his bat. And it's finally here. We all can relax. Virat Kohli's got to a Test 100 once again.
Gets there with just 5 boundaries, 241 deliveries, but none of that matters at all right now to him, I'm sure. Line bowls going back is Akshar Patel, off the mark with a boundary for Blunston. Cutting away for 4, Blunston right on with them. Akshar for India, 5 for 399 Baz.
And just going back to Virat Kohli, historically a Virat Kohli century meant him jumping in the air, punching the air, maybe a couple of cuss words here and there, but it just tells you where Virat Kohli is as a person right now. Just a quiet raise of the bat, dropped his bat, took his gloves off, pulled out the wedding ring, gave it a kiss. He's in a great place in life. Priorities, that's what matters to him, family.
5 for 399, line to complete the over around the wicket. Akshar defends out into the offside through the legs of the man up close next to the pitch there. That won't make Nathan Lyon happy. Akshar retains the strike and the 400 up as well. 5 for 400 for Virat Kohli, and even 100 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Oh, my apologies. Not the end of the over. I thought they were going off. Just the way the square leg umpire was running about. Still 2 balls left. Getting ahead of ourselves here, boys. That happens. Nathan Lyon taking a moment here. So Kohli back on strike. How have I done that with 2 balls to go, Phil?
Just the excitement of a Virat
The excitement
Kohli
of the moment.
Sorry about that, Louis.
I thought the crowd was loud.
That sign, long live King Kohli, on our screen for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. Line here, Kohli clips straight to short leg. Hanscom, who misfielded the ball before, wears one here on his shin pad. So I wonder if that's the fewest number of boundaries he's hit on the way to 100. I suspect it has to be. Phil Long will clarify that point. He's nodding in the background. An even 100 for Kohli. Still 2 out on the leg side, facing line here. Nearly a shout for leg before, but it's an inside edge to backward square. Now it's the end of the 139th over. The score remains 5 for 400. Kohli 100, Akshar 5 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener.
I'm a chippy, which means I'm a craftsman. I'm a worker in nearly all weather. I'm a mentor and I'm a small business owner. But most of all, I'm a dad. Luckily, I'm insured by a mate. IMAR are the tradies, mate. So get a quote today, online, or call 13IMAR. They're the tradies, mate. Let's IMAR!
Test cricket on SEN with tyre power. Kumho tyres at wicket taking prices, and to the relief of this crowd here at the Narendra Modi Stadium, it wasn't at Kohli's wicket taking prices. There are hundreds, and a very slow one on a flat deck may not seem that important, but it was more about relief, really. A relief, you might say, that might restore belief. Is that fair to say?
I think so. And the feeling around India and Indian cricket and world cricket, and those who know Virat Kohli, was he just had to get this out of the way. Just that one big 100 out of the way. And now that he's done that, just feeling that there's normalcy around the world.
Yes.
As we've seen an entire pandemic between the last time he got here and him raising his bat for a test 100, as Ravi Shastri joins us.
Ravi Shastri, you represent the relief of a nation, as you said.
And a 600 kilo gorilla off his back. He'll grow 2 inches taller by this evening. Oh, massive relief. Round the globe, not just in this country, because it's a popular 100, let me assure you.
Mitchell Stark starts a new over. He's in to Akshar, who's struck on the pad. A bit of inside edge in there. And there's no run.
And it's over 3 years. I believe 3 years, 3 months. So
1,206 days.
Oh, there you go. But, you know, I just feel he's going to become a better player. Coming out of all this, he'll be wiser, smarter. And the way he's entertained the world over the last few years, he's been a torchbearer for Test match cricket. This will be one of the most popular 100s.
Stark into Patel. Akshar of the ilk down the leg side. Doesn't catch up with it, and there is no run.
And just his celebration, Ravi, I just called it. It says where he is. Tells you a lot about where he is in life. Oh, no jumping up and down and proving a point, pointing at his emblem, pointing at himself. Just a quiet raise of the hand, pulled out his wedding ring. And that's where he is. And he's in a happy place with his family, his child. Louis Cameron was at the team hotel in Indore. Spoke about how he sees him with his daughter at breakfast.
Here is Stark into Akshar. Things calm down, and that's again down the leg side, looking for the strangle, but it's not on. Taken by the keeper Carey, and there's no run.
Great maturity. You know, he would have matured a lot with this. And the reason I say there'll be runs in abundance across formats from him is simply because of the discipline he's shown even in this series, in tightening his defense and trusting his defense. So he's got, I think, technically sounder as this series has progressed. And the first time he's had a chance to exhibit it in good batting conditions.
Stark here. It's a very tricksy field. We've got a short mid-wicket in place and a straight delivery's worked on the front foot up to Travis Head at mid-on. And there's no run. Amidst all this, we've completely forgotten the score. It's on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. India 5 for 400, and they've scored runs quickly for the first time in a while after lunch. And it does all the talk of Kohli is completely understandable, but there is a game of cricket that's threatening to break out here, Ravi.
Absolutely, it's not over, because now if India will look to bat this session and score at a, not go over the top, but score at a normal rate and then take it from there.
Stark is in, and that's left alone outside the off stump. A hint of shape back into the left-hander. There is no run.
And the reason I say it, and it is because I can't see India losing from here. The only one team that can lose that if panic is, sets in, it's Australia. Or a draw would be the most likely result. So you got to see how India played out from here till tea time.
Well, how does Australia take 15 wickets in the time remaining and bat again?
Yeah.
It's sort of impossible to see that scenario. Stark is into Aksha, who just pushes back the bowler, no run. But that is why, once you get into these situations, and there is only one side that can win, you've got to try to plot that course and do it. And that course is going to have to involve a little bit more intent, I would say. End of the over on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart Gardner. India are 5 for 100.
Good for the game tomorrow?
Nah, still trying to sell the car.
Give me your phone, let me do it.
Yeah, good luck.
Car sales, instant offer.
Car sales what?
Instant offer. You can skip creating an ad, dealing with buyers and waiting for a decent offer all weekend.
Is that the offer for my car already?
Yep. Now just take it to one of the official buyers nationwide, get it looked over, and the money drops the next business day. So I'll see you at the game then?
Yeah, see you at the game.
Car sales instant offer. The hassle-free way to sell your car.
T's and C's apply.
Test Stringer and SE Ed with tyre power. Kumo tyres at wicket-taking prices. We were talking just before the break with Ravi Shastri and Bharat Sundaresh alongside me, Daniel Norcross, about how we plot India's path to victory. And I've been mentioning that Chennai test for a long time, that India won after England posted 477. Now, it's a similar scenario, but what India did that time was bat a bit quicker than they are doing here. The only way that they can win this test with, a session and an hour and a bit to go today and a whole day tomorrow is they've got to get probably a minimum of 2 sessions at Australia and far enough ahead.
Well, ideally, I'd like to see them bowl tonight.
Right.
For at least an hour, which means if they can
foot on the gas,
bat now for another hour and a half, and try and get 100+ runs. Just get ahead by 30 if they can, 30-40. But have a crack tonight. Very important for an hour.
Line is into Kohli, who covers up the defence, plays back to the bowler though, no run. So
if not more, or even 30 runs short. Give it in, let Australia 30 runs short. You have a longer time to bowl tonight and see what happens. Then chase it down if you have to chase.
What I'm driving at here is line is in, and this is clipped on the bounce to short leg, is that there is now really no purpose to India hanging around. Now, with Kohli's 100 in the bag, it's put the foot on the gas, because actually, there's another scenario. If they come back for 2.5 hours, have an hour's bowling tonight, they could be 100 ahead, and that could be really bothersome for Australia.
And not just the runs. That would mean Australia would have been on the field for around 175 overs.
Yeah.
And that will play on their minds and on their legs.
Line is in. Forward comes Kohli, thick inside edge, stopped at short leg. There's no run. So, I'm not going to be critical of anybody out there. It's a difficult pitch to score runs quickly on, but I don't want to see forward defensives in this instance. I now want to see a bit of dancing feet.
And just, you spoke about the Chennai test. We can even go back to the second test in Galle last year, where Australia get to 370 in the first innings.
Line into Kohli. Kohli just defends off the back foot into the offside. There's no run.
And Dinesh Chandimal scores one of the best double hundreds I've ever seen. And Sri Lanka keep Australia out there on the field for around 150, 175 overs, I think. And Australia get bowled out on a pitch which there wasn't exorbitant turn or any tricks that were being played. It was a pretty flat trick.
And this line is in. And forward comes Kohli and works the ball into the onside. I'm not enjoying this. 5 dot balls. I suppose Kohli wants to reset a little.
Reset. They'll play till drinks. And probably a message will come out, and probably Kohli would also send a message there as to this is how I think we should play.
Lyon is into him, and he's pushing off a thick outside edge. The ball's running down towards the boundary. It's being pursued by an eager head. who gets to it, and another couple of runs accrue. 5 for 402 at the end of the 141st over. Kohli 102. Akshar has 5.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
SEN Test cricket for Tyre Power. Now Mitchell Starc is remaining in the attack. We saw just a little bit of shape in the previous over. This ball is getting on now. It's 141 over. So when did they take the new ball? It wasn't immediate, was it?
No, I was thinking the 94th over. 94th over.
94th?
Yeah.
94th, so it's only 47 overs old. 94th, right?
And then bowlers.
That was leaving it a while, wasn't it? I remember there was a series, you might remember this, Ravi, I'm not saying you were playing in it, but between New Zealand and the West Indies, the early 80s, I think it was. And Starc is bowling wide outside the off-stump, no run on an absolutely horrible dead track. I think the West Indies didn't take a new ball for about 145 overs or something, just bowled with this rag to stop New Zealand from scoring.
More recently, Durban 2013. You were there. MS Dhoni just refused to take the new ball, and I think they were bowling with a ball which is 170 overs old. Looked like both my dogs and the neighbour's dog had a go at it.
And your dogs are big dogs.
Yeah.
If they have a go at a ball, there's not a lot of it left. The neighbours can testify. And Starc is in. It's pushed it to the offside, square of the wicket, down to deep backward point. One more to the total. Kuhnemann throws it.
It's very important how India think. I've always believed at home, take the game forward, in your own backyard. And there's a lot more on offer for the spinners. So when Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar come out, there'll be more on offer. I do believe after drinks they should have a serious chat and see how they can take this forward. Get as close to Australia by tea time. If they do get there, say 20-30 short by tea, and they have wickets in hand, then you can really go for it and push that in the next half an hour, 45 minutes.
Well, drinks is only 12 minutes away, so they'll probably get about another 17-18 overs in before tea. Wide outside the off stump, Kohli reaches for it and misses it, just hits the ground with his bat. So still a little bit of scenario building. 17-18 overs, say. That could get them another three runs and over. That's not having to go too hard. That would get them to within 20-odd runs of Australia. And then you have an hour with your foot down, or 50 minutes, say, and then have 15 overs at the back end of the day.
Worst comes to worst, India bowled out. India bowled out for 450 would be perfect.
Takes the decision away.
Takes the decision away. It sets this game up beautifully.
Here comes Starc into Kohli. Kohli waits, gets full toss, which he drives down the ground for an elegant boundary. It was a long full toss, and all Kohli had to do was lay bat on it, but he's timed it perfectly, and he's placed it perfectly, most importantly, to the right of mid-off, where Travis Head was stationed. Boundaries with Blundstone, right on with Blundstone.
And as Phil Long reminded us, his first boundary since he went from 38 to 42.
Wow.
No, this must be his first boundary today.
First boundary today.
First boundary today.
I mean, I'm not going to say that signals intent, because it was a full toss, and he was always going to be hitting that, or trying to hit it. So he comes forward in defence to the next ball. Played a short extra cover, but that'll make him feel better. It's come right out of the middle of the bat. Lovely, elegant boundary. Well placed. And now he can just start to feel that weight lifted. He might start to play with a bit more joie de vivre, perhaps.
And he could, really make this scoreboard rattle along if he wants to now, because the stage is set for him. He's seeing it like a football. It's still a very placid pitch, especially when fast bowlers are bowling.
Starc is in over the wicket to him. And Kohli clips away nicely. That could be another boundary. It is. You wait. We went all day for a boundary from Kohli, and then two come in the space of 3 balls, and that was a great shot. It was on the pads, but he's flicked it away to the right of long leg, picks up his second boundary, moves to 110 at the end of the over. India 5 for 4, 1-1.
For over 40 years, Kubota have worked the Australian landscape and faced its challenges. From first light to sunset, our agriculture and construction range works with power and versatility that you can rely on. From our mid-size to professional tractors, dependable mowers, zero tail swing or conventional excavators, and more. Kubota is building and shaping the future. Visit kubota.com.au or head to your nearest dealer to learn more.
SEN Test Cricket for Tyre Power, your trusted local. 5 for 4. So we're having a voiceover off because I'm deeply jealous because Bharat's got himself a Lumo Energy advert.
And a Henley Holmes.
And Henley. Okay.
It's still
right. Well, I'm not having this. It's I want some of the action.
They used to the English accents faded out in Australia, unfortunately. The posh English accent.
It's one of the most trusted accents in the world.
So you've got a Henley home?
Oh. He's working on it. Right. It's going to be Lyon who's in around the wicket forward in defence. Comes Akshay, plays to the backward point, and there's no run. 5 for 4, 1-1. And India now have had a couple of gibbies that they've hit. Boundaries with Blundstone, right on with Blundstone in that last over. And just wondered, Ravi Shastri alongside me thinks drinks will be the point where they may reassess. As Lyon is in, Akshay goes back into his crease and pushes to mid-off. There's no run. I mean, apropos of all that, are we seeing more happening in the pitch though? Because for India to force that victory, they're going to have to start taking wickets, and when he had 15 wickets in the match so far.
The other way to look at it is bat at a tempo where you're looking to get 80 in a session of play, and just bat normally, and if you lose a wicket or two from here, no Shreyas Iyer, then someone goes bang, 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 and see how it goes. If a wicket doesn't fall till tea.
Line into Akshay. It's over the wicket this time, and it goes across his bows and into the gloves of Carey. No run.
Then the temptation would be to bat as long as you can, get ahead by 80, 90, 100, and then see what can happen tomorrow.
Nice guys.
Yeah, the longer you're out there, you'd hope the worse that pitch is going to get.
Yeah.
The line is in. Akshay punches off the back foot. He'll get a single as it goes out towards Deepak's good cover. 5 for 4-1-2, and we've seen this a lot in UAE pitches, haven't we? Where lots of people take to Twitter and say these pitches are a disgrace. And funnily enough, at the back end of the fourth day, stuff happens.
Stuff happens, and also, but even now, except Virat Kohli, ironically, every other batter has walked out to bat and looked pretty comfortable from the first to second ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's generally a great gauge on what's happening on the pitch.
It's not one player scoring and the other struggling. There's been partnerships all the way here.
Well, on the subject of partnerships, Phil Long, who's with us for Fuso, crucially, has told us that the first 5 partnerships were all over 50, and that's the first time that's happened for India in Test cricket.
Nice ball,
as this next ball goes into the onside, there's no run.
It's the third time.
That's the third time.
First against
Australia. I beg your pardon. So have they done 6 before? Have they had 6 50 partnerships? Because we're on the 6th wicket now, and we might be in for something that looks like a record, Ravi. We could say we were there when it happened. Lyon in, has tucked it to the onside. Once more, there's no run. I mean, it won't be a big thing for you to say because you're at every game that India ever plays. And the over, is it? It is the end of the over with India on the Holman scoreboard. 5 for 4-1-2.
Hello, this is Virat Kohli. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Test cricket, SEN Test cricket for Tyre Power, your trusted local. We've got Phil Long on the case. Has India had 6 consecutive 50 partnerships on the top of the innings? Phil's with us thanks to Fuso trucks. Fuso canters are in stock now. Job done.
He's on the job.
He's on the job, and you're closest to him. He's off mic, so if he gets the information, can he relay it to Bharat? And we'll get this straight up and out for the listeners back at home. Down the leg side, tumbling take once more. Actually, not able to catch up with it.
But just even if the pitch is flat, Ravi, can you tell us? I mean, you've been there in these kind of situations. The impact that being out on the field in this heat for nearly a day and a half or more can have on the batter. Say if Australia have to bat 15-20 overs, just how wobbly are the legs, and does that kind of negate the pitch being very flat?
Apart from that, it does. There's no question about that. They'll feel the heat being out there for so long.
Stark runs in, short mid-wicket and a gully in place for 2 catches. And this is clipped fine. It's going to run down towards the boundary, and it gets there. Our boundaries with Blundstone. Right on with Blundstone for your chance to win.
But I think the biggest thing Australia will have to counter, and it'll play on your mind for any side, is when you know, can you win this game? That's the question you ask yourself. And the answer will be most unlikely. Now what's the next thing? We've got to survive. Now therein lies the demon in your head. That's when that survival word comes in, and you know what's happened in the series where in one session 5, 6, 7 wickets have fallen. Then the doubts start creeping in, and that's what India would be hoping for when they come out. So that's why they're batting. They're pushing this score to a position where they just cannot lose.
The Stark runs away from us. A huge horn blares in our ears. Stark is in, and that gets a thick inside edge. The ball works its way to short mid-wicket. No run. I get all of that. I'm watching other teams eradicate that fear of failure, and it works for them. And for Australia, they're 2-1 down. They can't win the series. If they lose 3-1 instead of 2-1. If they go in with a really positive mindset, they might just get themselves weirdly 150 ahead and have a crazy 2.5 hours at the other end. You've got to give yourself, haven't you, hope somewhere.
That's the best way you take out that doubt from your mind.
Stark in, wide outside the off stump, short, left alone by Akshar, and there's no run.
And it can happen only if you give that positive spin to it.
Otherwise, as you say, the fear creeps in then, the survival word. And who would better to know that than former Test player Ravi Shastri, one of our experts today. Download the SEN app from your app store today alongside Bharat Sundaresan and Stats Boy Phil Long. Has he got that data for me yet? Has he? After this ball, let's get that information. The Stark is in, worked away through mid-wicket. Nice looking shot there from Akshar. As outfield sped up a bit, fielder in pursuit will get there. Really good effort out on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Is that Todd Murphy out there? It is Todd Murphy, and he's kept the scoring to 3. They'll probably have a little boundary check on that, but the score at the moment reads 5 for 419. What's the news?
Phil Long says it's happened twice in tests.
There's a little burst of music in our ears, reminds us to talk about the cricket. Stark in, wide of the off stump, left alone, through to the keeper. Now, are they going to call for drinks? Have they called for drinks? Don't know that they have yet. It's sort of almost drinks time, but they're just holding off for another over, I reckon, or so. India, 5 for 419.
All right, I'm going to the bar. We'll be back in a tick.
Seriously? They just bounced the ball, mate. Wait till quarter time.
Won't be long this time.
scored!
Spending more time queuing for drinks than watching the game? You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
SEN Test cricket for Tyre Power, your trusted local. The Holman scoreboard, India 5 for 419 at just 61 runs behind. We're very shortly going to have drinks. We've had half the overs today, 45 overs in half the time. It's been a good over rate. Slower, it has to be said, in this afternoon session as the players tire and as Kohli's 100 took a while. And the line is in, and that's spat a bit. And it's taken the edge and flown to backward point, and that will encourage India's spinners. They will encourage Australia's spinners as well, of course, but India, well, just having a little look at that and thinking, hello, that's just popped a touch, taking the shoulder of the bat. Where's that come from?
Yeah, and you need a couple of wickets with that early on when you're bowling again.
Line in, that takes a bit of inside edge, does it, and bobbles into the onside, no run. With a hard new ball, that could do a bit.
And there'll be men around the bat. If India go ahead or a certain amount of runs, there will be men around the bat to take every half chance that comes their way.
Just taking a look.
This
is
the
replay screen. Yes, that is bat pad. That's Beaumont Tile's replay screen. And had there been a short leg, it would have been a regulation catch, but he wasn't there. Line in again. This is driven elegantly. A very full delivery out to short extra cover. There's no run. 5 for 419 for Australia. Now, when they see that, do they think to themselves, right, hang on, let's get some guys in here. India are missing a batter. They've got a couple of fine batters still to come, but they do have a tale of sorts. 7 down, and they could be all out in no time. Forward comes Akshay and plays into the offside. No run.
That's one way of looking at it, but Australia also, from this point on, like Ravi said, the chances of them winning slipping by, there isn't enough time, more than anything.
But you've got to believe, otherwise you're out there going through the motions on a hot day at the end of a long tour, and you could collapse like a bag of cards if you're not careful. Line in, and that just comes on with the arm. It's defended into the offside. No run.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nathan Lyon doesn't have a man closing.
At least one.
At least one, either silly point or forward short leg, because you need to take wickets. Like if India doesn't have Shreyas Iyer batting, the tail starts after this. So they need to try and break this partnership quickly.
Lyon in, and Asher defends stoutly on the front foot, pushes out into the offside. It is going to be the drinks break at last. It's been somewhat delayed, but on the Holman scoreboard, India at the drinks break, a 5 for 419.
Hello, this is Virat Kohli. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
I'm going to go to the toilet and grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. If he kicks this, we're in front. Nah, it'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please. Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Hello, this is Virat Kohli. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
The noise for Kohli on 99. Line swing here, round the wicket, turning into the onside, and there it is. Not his most extravagant 100, nor his most elaborate, but you can never doubt this man's dedication. Careful accumulation, reaching 3 figures for the 28th time in Test cricket. The 8th time in Test cricket against Australia. He takes off his necklace and gives it a kiss. That might be his wedding ring. 1,206 days. Kohli, the chance to wave that bat around again. The crowd adore this man. The former captain takes his bow. What a relief.
It's a moment India has yearned for, prayed for, wished for, waited for, and so has Virat Kohli. It's been a while since they've seen him raise his bat in white clothing, and he's still raising his bat. And it's finally here. We all can relax. Virat Kohli's got to a Test 100 once again.
And exhale. At last he's got there. As Brad said there in that piece of analysis, the hopes and dreams of a nation have come true. Virat Kohli reaching his 28th Test 100 just after the start of this middle session. India have made their way to 5 for 419, which means they're still 61 runs behind Australia's 480 in the first innings. Drinks on the 4th afternoon. Adam Collins with you, Louis Cameron with me. We've also got Phil Long over in the stats chair for the next half an hour or so. Wickets for Australia. 2 for Murphy, 2 for 68. Lyon, 2 for 115 from 56 overs. He's bowled beautifully. Kuhneman, 1 for 57 yesterday. And Kohli still there on 110 from 256 deliveries. 7 boundaries there with Akshar Patel on 14 from 32. A couple of fours. A partnership of 26 from 50 deliveries. It was a brilliant start to the session, Louis, where Cameron Green tried to bounce, well, initially KS Barat out. He ducked for a hole over. Then he said, look at this, I'm going for it. Hits 2 sixes, a 4, a 20 run over, make that. And for a moment there, it felt like India were going to have a real crack in this session. And who knows, maybe the second hour they'll unleash again. But for the time being, we're back to kind of where we were before lunch.
21. I think it was 21 in the end. That
21,
that over.
Right?
Yeah, a couple of no balls in there, and it's kind of, we were joking in the press box that the Mumbai Indians might be on the phone to Andrew McDonald saying, "Hey, just get our $3 million product off it," while he's bowling all these no balls and worrying that his over might go on and on and on. Speaking of the opposite of that, Mitchell Starc, who hasn't bowled much today, he only got thrown the ball during that last little hour after lunch. Just was watching him at the drinks break. The physio was lurking in his direction. So
right.
Not saying he was necessarily getting treatment or anything like that, but the physio was standing next to Mitchell Starc.
Yes.
Which might have been a giveaway.
So there might be more to that, because we were wondering earlier why we hadn't seen him. Green got the first opportunity, didn't bowl at all in the first session. Murphy starting the new hour, bowling around the wicket to Kohli. Into the onside he goes. Labuschagne does the fielding. No run.
Come on, lads.
So trailing by 61. Yeah, Starc, how many did he bowl in that spell? What, a couple of overs there, didn't he? 3. 20 for the innings out of 145 for the senior quick. Murphy in his 35th. Leg slip his catcher. Bowls here, Kohli. Tucks it to square leg. He won't get a single. Good piece of fielding there by Peter Hanscom. Stays at 5 for 419. So Australia have taken 1 wicket per session through their bowling innings so far. 3 yesterday, 2 today. They need to wrap this up quickly, though, to go through the lower half and give themselves any sniff here. Murphy bowls and Kohli, similar direction, similar result. Pete Hanscom cutting it off at square leg. It's just drifting a bit here, isn't it? In terms of how we conceive of a result, we were talking about this immediately after lunch with Harsha Bhogle, the model where India bat all the way through and can put the foot down maybe in the final couple of hours today and get a lead that they might be able to work with tomorrow. Murphy round the wicket, Kohli pulling. Just Peter Hanscom this time. Out to the rope for 4. That's a Blunston boundary. A couple of times he tried to get it over past square leg, and he does so here. So 5 for 423 becomes the score. Kohli, just his 8th boundary, 114. He advances 2.
A red drag down from Todd Murphy there as well. He's bowled beautifully to this field of Virat Kohli throughout the day, where he's only had 2 fielders off on the offside. Kohli's dissected them all that time.
Murphy to Kohli. Again towards Peter Hanscom, and again it gets past the man at square leg. Cameron Green backing up from mid-wicket. They get 1. 5 for 423. Make that 5 for 424. We're just ahead of the scoreboard here at the moment. Kohli 115. Back to Akshar Patel. Last ball, the over.
and I was talking about it earlier, I mean, it is such a hard field to bowl to for a 22-year-old bowling to Virat Kohli, who is not taking a risk, he's batting on an absolute road. For him to go into a two-second field shows a lot of skill, right? Probably his first real bad ball today, I'd say, for Todd Murphy.
Interesting sampling the response online to the Kohli 100 when I was off air then for 20 minutes, and boy, it's quite something. There is so much love for this guy, and even though there was criticism on the way through, the longest drought that Harsha was talking about, as long as Jimmy Anderson, they're the only two players active in world cricket who'd gone longer without a ton, can you believe it? To finish the over here, and he beats him with a beauty. Brings him forward, spins past the outside edge. Well bowled Todd Murphy. 5 runs coming from the over. India trail by 56. They're 5 for 424. Kohli 115. Akshar 14. And that's all on the Holman scoreboard for the Smart Gardener.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
SEN Test Cricket with Adam Collins, Louis Cameron and Phil Long. Louis ripped his headset off, but Longy's here. What's going on, mate?
Virat Kohli's highest test score against Australia here in India. He's made 5 higher in Australia, but this is his highest against Australia here in India. A couple of bits on that 100. 5 fours. When he reached 100, that's the least boundaries he's made in reaching 3 figures.